Welcome back, family. Mangitru M. Zadi.
Mangitru Adam.
And this is PVTV. So, welcome to anybody that is new here. We are PVTV. We currently reside in West Africa, Gambia, and we use our channel basically to promote young people in Gambia. We try to also encourage young people from the diaspora to move to Gambia, and we just try to make different videos that we can to really entice people. We talk about news, we talk about many different things. So thank you so much for joining in, and if you've been subscribing with us for a while, thank you. We have a big group now. I think it's like 1,585 when I just looked at the channel subscribers that we have now, and we're so grateful. We hope that we grow. Let's get to 5,000 by the end of the year, and yeah,
we're gonna definitely be more consistent so we can get that faster. But make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe below, because that helps a lot. That helps build us in the algorithm, that helps us get the word out there, helps us build the narrative of Africa and change it back to what we know it is. A place that's great that we need to return to.
Right.
But yeah, so the point of this video though is, are you ready? Are you really ready to come home? Are you really ready to move, to go to Africa? And this could be something bigger that goes into like anywhere you move in the world. Are you really ready? Because it's not just about, okay, I have an idea, it's a great idea, let me do it. You have to be more than just the idea, financially ready, physically ready, spiritually ready, mentally ready. So we're gonna go into that today.
Yeah, and the full title that you'll see down below is, are you ready, or are you just fed up? Because a lot of people right now, a lot of us for generations have been fed up with our systems, with our society, with the way that we are treated, specifically African people all around the world. So you're fed up with your reality, but are you ready to shift into what you want, into the reality that you're dreaming of? So you have to give up something in order to gain something. A lot of us, when we move over here, we want to only gain. We want to gain. So let's talk about it. The first point that we have here is your mindset and your emotional preparation. This is very important when it comes to moving to Gambia, moving to Africa in general. So the first thing is becoming humble.
Well, just speaking on the first thing you said, mindset and preparation. Your mindset is the number one thing. No matter what you do in life, you have to be 100% in. You have to be focused. So your mindset has to be one of, okay, I know I'm confident in myself. I'm confident that I'm going to do this, even though my friends, my family, everybody else may be saying that this is crazy, this won't work. You have to be driven. You have to be somebody that's motivated. So your mindset has to be just that. That's the only way you're going to make it here, through the mud of America and everything you go through to get here. Your mindset has to be strong. You have to be determined. Now, being humble is very important as well. And it's on both sides of the water, before you come and here. Because you have to humble yourself, right? You shoot, like they say, you shoot for the moon so you land on the clouds. Okay? And that's an opposite statement of being humble. But you got to humble yourself in thinking that you can do a million things at one time when you get here. You got to humble yourself and realize that you're only human. And what is practical? Where are you going, and what are you adding to that? You have to really humble yourself. And I think that, I'm coming to America with X amount of dollars saved, and I can do anything.
Yeah. So basically, just let go of your superiority complex. Let go of the entitlement that you feel as, let's say, an American coming to Africa, a European coming to Africa. German coming to Africa. Let go of the entitlement that you feel because this is a so-called third world country. So you think in your mind, which just goes back to the superiority complex, that we're better than them, we're over them in whatever sense that you feel like that is. And of course, a lot of it is so deeply ingrained in us that if you come over here at a certain age, you will not, it's not going to come out of you. You can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Yeah, we've literally heard out of diaspora's mouths that, it's African Americans first, and then it's these group of people next, and then it's these group of people. And these are black people, from the States here saying this about the locals. So you have to humble yourself, like she's saying. Everybody's equal. We're all human beings. We all are birthed from our mothers, and we go into the ground in the dirt. So at the end of the day, it's not African American first, and then these group of people first, and then none of that. If you're here, then that means that you didn't want to be there. So you can't come here and say that these people are less than me because I have this upbringing. I was raised in Europe, or I was raised in America, or I was raised in this place. So that upbringing made me better mentally, made me better than these people here. And a lot of us do that. And that's a horrible misconception.
Yeah. Which kind of runs into the next topic, which is leaving classism behind.
Yes.
Wherever you're coming from, a lot of places in the world run off classism. Maybe everywhere. But that doesn't mean that we have to continue to, we have to bring that here. Right now, Africa is, in a sense, a playground when it comes to the diaspora coming over here and trying to shape along with Africa, because Africa is reshaping itself right now. So when we're coming, we're saying, okay, how can we adjust to this reshape? How can we form into this new shape with them? How can we make our own shape that fits inside of their shape? So as we're doing that, we want to make sure that we're not coming over here again with the mindset of we are here, we are this class of people, this educated group of people, and they are here, this class of people, this group of educated people, this group of financial people. Don't I even have heard people say, they just need to get a job. This is talking about, Gambian people and diaspora saying, they just need to get a job and work harder.
And when you do things like that, it's a double-edged sword. Because if you treat people like you're a higher class and then turn around and say, why are the prices raising for diasporans? Why are they charging us more in the markets? You're acting like you're some imperial, some aristocrat class, flaunting the money. And then, of course, when you go around now that you're getting charged more, you're saying, that's wrong. We have to reshape our mindsets to really be ready to come here, because sometimes we set ourselves up for failure.
Yeah, a lot of times. Another big thing here, which is it's good. It's a good and a bad thing. A lot of us do have really big hearts, and when we come over here, we want to be the savior of our newly found family. We want to be the heroes in the town. So we want to give, even if we don't have much to give, even if we feel like we have a lot to give. And so we do give. At the end of the day, you can't save the world really, truly by just giving something to somebody. You have to teach them. You have to give them something sustainable to where even after you step away, you're gone, you no longer whatever, they can still have their own fruits that they're bearing. So we have to.
And I think that it's going to take us to have maybe organized donations, organized giving, organized type of events like that. That will change that. Because you see a lot of individuals, like she's saying, you go to a boxing neighborhood, you got some clothes, you leave the clothes or something like that. That's cool. But at the end of the day, it doesn't change their standard of living. It doesn't change anything. You see a lot of villages with boreholes, but the boreholes are not being used. They're derelict. They've been there for 10 years now, unused. The people still struggling to get water because, like she said, they're not taught how to maintain that. There's not a system in place. So organizing like donations, organizing the way that we do our giving to these different communities is very important, because we've heard of a lot of people throwing away a lot of money saying that they gave this and we helped people here and we had nothing to show for it. And now they're bitter you know, and it was good money, and it could have been structured well, but they're bitter now because of how they organized, how they donated the money. Yeah. So it's not even the people, it's not even the country that they're bitter about, really. They're really bitter about, should be bitter about how they distributed their money.
Yeah.
So that's what we're speaking to.
Not only that, as well as, you know, and I love Africa. I love my people. I love everything, you know, about being black. But the Gambian people, when you start to give to them, they're going to take. And
that's anybody.
Gladly, right?
Yeah, that's anybody.
But it will become quickly to a point of being used. So you have to guard yourself. It's a double-edged sword. You have to guard yourself against them with giving, and you have to also think in your mind, am I actually giving something to them? Am I giving them quality, or is this something that I feel like is going to make me feel?
And it really goes back to the previous thing that we were talking about, which was flaunting your money, you know, the classism, because a lot of people feel like they come here with a different exchange rate, they have a lot of money, so they can give more, right? They can't just throw that money more. Whereas if they were in their country they were born in, they wouldn't do that. So if we moved like that, though, in that aspect, not everything else from the countries we come from, but just in that aspect of, you know, you wouldn't just give this person 4 times more than you would normally do, that would change a lot here. Because then it would be more of an average, more of a minor thing. But they're expecting from the foreigners for them to give way more than the average local would give, even if you're getting stopped at a security stop. So we really have to be careful with giving, you know. It's very good. There's nothing wrong with giving. You should. But we have to structure it.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that kind of goes into our last topic for like your emotional and your mental state before you come to Gambia, which is detaching from instant gratification. When we come, the system that we come from, as far as America, that's all we know. We can't really speak for Germany or Europe, but we have European friends. We have friends from Germany, so they say that things are very similar there as in America. And the system there is fast. You know, you get your food fast. You can get in and out of the bank pretty fast. You can get your gas fast. Everything is fast. You can go and get your groceries fast. Everything is instantly. We have a lot of instant gratification in America. And in Gambia specifically, you don't have as much of that. So when you come here, when you're thinking about moving here, even just start to get into a mindset of a slower paced life.
Yeah, you have to have patience here. You know, you have to have, you know, patience is important because things move at a different speed. They don't have as much infrastructure, right? And the infrastructure isn't as organized. So because of that, things move a bit slower. Everything in Gambia is about who you know. You can get stuff done fast if you have either a little bit more money or you have somebody that you know in these offices. Then you can get it done quickly. But other than that, you know, some things you just have to wait. Like at the port, you gotta have patience. You know, when you're dealing with a lot of shops, you have to have patience. So it's a different time here. You know, not just in reality. We're 6 hours ahead, 5 hours ahead of most places in the West. It's a different time here, but they move at a different speed. And that's okay too, because you realize when you get here that everything is a rush in America. You know, 9 to 5, that's all you know. You got to wake up, get ready real quick, get the kids ready real quick, and move. Here, you have a lot more time to think, to plan out your day, to focus and do that. So that's where they're coming from as a people here. So just be patient, you know, because you're going to need it.
Yeah, just be ready to slow. And you're going to enjoy it. You know, we're saying this, and of course it's hard to really fathom until you are in that space, but it's going to be something that you're really going to enjoy. Your body is going to enjoy it. Your mind is going to enjoy it. Your creativity is going to enjoy it. So it's a positive thing as well. Okay, so now we kind of want to jump into our next topic when it comes to adjusting to your mindset or getting ready and prepared to move to Africa, really anywhere in Africa, is cultural awareness and integration. So a big thing, and we talk about this often on our channel, is learning the language. and not to be specifically right here, what I have in the notes is language humility. Don't be afraid to learn a new language. Don't be afraid to be wrong when you're saying it, to feel like you sound dumb when you're trying to stop somebody in the road and say a word that you've been practicing. Don't be afraid to do those types of things, because one, they love it. It is humor to them, but also they start to respect you more because they see that you're trying.
Exactly.
And they will even take their own time to teach you every once in a while when they might see you. They'll repeat maybe a word that they taught you the last time that they saw you. So just don't be afraid to learn a language. One, because it's important. You want to know what people are saying when they're around you. But you also want to be able to communicate when you're around people that don't speak English. Oh, sorry, y'all. When you're around people that don't speak English, and you yourself are going to feel, just imagine how you're going to feel once you learn a new language.
You know,
just imagine.
Learning a language is one of the biggest ways you can integrate into anybody's culture. That's one of the biggest ways you can integrate into anyone's culture, because from language is everything. You learn their beliefs, you learn their systems, you learn their customs, you learn their traditions, you can learn everything just from learning somebody's language. We went to a security meeting last year, and at the beginning of the meeting, I did 2 of the custom greetings that they do here, the local people do here, and very few people can answer back. And in the meeting, it was a security meeting that was speaking on the fact of we need more protection from the local government to protect us as a people here. And I spoke to them saying that if most of us can't even communicate with the locals or with the police, how can we demand that the local government or environment protect us? But we're not even willing to integrate on that level. So we have to really practice these things to really integrate it, not just the language. There's other things that we're not doing that we could be doing to really integrate into the community. A lot of us think giving or just donating or something like that is how they're going to see us and we're going to integrate, but it's not. You know, we really have to start to go to these naming ceremonies. You know, go to Tabaski when they invite us. We have to go to the different wedding ceremonies that they have. We have to be a part of these Eid celebrations. We have to be a part of these things, because that's how we integrate as far as being seen as a part of the community.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I feel like, again, it's one of the most important steps that you could take towards integration is learning the language. Learning a little bit of the language. Even if you feel like you can't, you can. So another big thing that we want to point out, which we kind of talked about in the last topic, but it's avoiding being flashy. So you know you're going to come over here, we're going to have a certain Delasi to us just because of the money translation. But oftentimes we treat that money like it's monopoly money. And when you're around people that maybe don't have it as much as you have it, then that can start to turn a tide in many different ways. But also, again, because right now we're talking about integration, showing that is going to make them feel less and less and less like you. They're going to put you now in a different bracket, in a different group of them. Whereas if you weren't as flashy, and this is not clothes. Really, honestly, this is mainly money. I dress up all the time. I'll put my lipstick on. I do my lashes. Like, I always dress up. So it's really not about your clothes. It's not even really about chains or anything. It's mainly about money, having physical cash, and just that's really what we're talking about. And people will start to they won't distance themselves from you, but you will become put in a different bracket from them, and they can never view you as a similar person. They already don't view you because you're not Gambian as one with them. So right now, when you're coming,
they might view you as a two-bob, which is not a good term at
all.
Which
we'll talk about that another time. But exactly, they're gonna you're a two-bob. You're gonna be a two-bob. You're not gonna be African. So you just kind of want to avoid it. I'm not saying you have the money, but that doesn't mean everybody needs to know that you got it.
Yeah, I mean a part of that being flashy goes into the couple of previous sections ago where we were talking about classism. You know, the classism and the flashiness play hand in hand with each other. And when you're flashy here, see, a lot of us, because this is another problem that ties into the flashiness and the classism. A lot of us here are, which we know Gambia has a problem with the trafficking situation that goes on here, where a lot of people from Europe and different countries come here and then are involved in that situation that's going on. But it's a lot of diasporans that do that too. It's a lot of black people that come here, they're older, you know, they might not have had the best looks in their country, you know, and so they got a little bit of money now, they come here and they start to throw that money. They start to be flashy with that money. And they start to use the young girls, you know. One of our recent clients, we went to go meet and young girl came, they talking, you know, he letting them know that I'm gonna give you money, I'm gonna pay you, I'm gonna make sure we go out, this and that. And that's just, we see this every day. So we just want to make sure that we know that we need to come here with the right mindset. We don't need to come here worrying about the African women, the African men. You know, of course, if you come here, you find love, that's different. You get married, you know, that's different. But we need to really condition ourselves to not be a part of that whole lifestyle that they have here. Because there's a lot. You're going to see it. When you go to the beach, you're going to see the European man with a young Gambian black girl or black boy. Like, that's, you can, like, what, how old are they? So you don't want to be a part of that. You don't want to get caught up in that. There's so many businesses here where they failed because one man got sought after by a local woman, or one woman got sought after by a local man, and they just broke up the household. And this stuff is real. And this goes into being flashy, right? Because you're in the markets, you're throwing money, they see that you own a business, they come there, they see you walking out the business. So there's different things that you can do to protect yourself from things like this.
Yeah. So again, just avoid being flashy. That's really all it is. It's very simple. And I definitely think that we can figure out how to do that. The next thing is